Welcome to First Cut, Eric Burton. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Laura.
Eric, you're the singer for the Black Pumas, and
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
based in Austin, Texas.
Yes, ma'am. Black Pumas was born in Austin, Texas, about 2000, late August of 2017 when I first met Adrian Casada.
Well, you guys make a great musical pair. I have to tell you, your all's debut album, the self-titled album, is just fantastic. What a great album! And the deluxe edition came out in August, I believe. It's just been I love all the extra tracks on that too.
Yeah, so yeah, we have a ton of extra tracks, A and B tracks that we had recorded much earlier on that didn't quite make the album cut, and then we had recently recorded a lot of really cool covers of some of our favorite songs and like the Beatles. And I used to do a cover of Tracy Chapman when I was busking on the Santa Monica Pier, so that was amazing that we even could even get her permission to do that because and from my knowledge, she's only allowed it once or twice before. So this may be the second time. And yeah, there's a lot of extra fun to be had in listening to the new songs. I think we might have five or so more.
Which Tracy Chapman cover?
I did Fast Car.
Right. I have a feature called 5 O'Clock Shadow, and I played that one. So yeah, fantastic. So Eric, first cut, we just ask you a series of questions, and we'll dive a little deep. There might be some follow-up questions, but we want to know what was the first record you fell in love with?
Oh, one by Pastor T.L. Barrett, coined Like a Ship Without a Sail.
What made you fall in love with that record?
Well, it was just funny because I was at a place called Stay Gold in Austin, Texas, and that song, Nobody Knows that song. It came on, and I was like, wow, what an amazingly recorded song. I just love the live aspects of it. Recorded a choir. The rhythm section is amazing. They had like this the tambourine and the shaker or just kind of mixed in quite well in its lo-fi nature. I just really, really appreciate that entire record.
Now, I'm not familiar with the album. Is that a gospel record?
It's kind of a gospel record, but it's unlike any gospel record I've ever heard. It's more of it almost feels like the guy is singing from the perspective of leaving, like after church is over. It doesn't feel like I'm in church when I listen to Like a Ship Without a Sail. It feels like I'm in the space of whoever wrote the songs in their real lives after church or before.
Yeah. Now, Eric, you talked about busking. Do you play an instrument?
I do. I play guitar. I sing a little bit, and I fiddle around on the keys right now. I just actually bought a synth that's coming in from
Oh.
Chicago to Austin in about an hour. And my mom had me taking violin lessons when I was in maybe 9 to 11 years old.
Was that the first instrument you had ever played, or?
You know what? It was the first instrument that I'd ever played. I don't think about that, but yes, it was.
What was the first song you learned on it, like all the way through?
Oh my goodness. I don't even remember right now. It was probably something classical or bits and pieces of something classical. I can't recall just quite yet. I was still kind of learning how to play.
What about on guitar? What was the first song you learned?
The first song that I learned on guitar, because of the way that I started off in kind of an unacademic way, the first song that I learned was a song that I wrote, and that song is called "A Soulmate." And I don't know, who knows? Maybe here in the near future you'll hear it again.
So that's not recorded anywhere?
It's what, I have a lot of some video footage on YouTube that not a lot of people know about, but I'm sure that if you looked up Soulmate by Eric Burton, you might find it.
Well, okay. Well, that's challenge accepted. I'm gonna have to do that. Um, what was the first heartache song you connected with?
Um the first heartache song that I connected with, I'll say the Tracy Chapman fast car. She was probably one of the first people that I looked up to in that regard.
Have you ever met her?
I haven't met her, but I heard that she liked us well enough, and apparently that is true, that she's allowing us to play her amazing, songs. So yeah, maybe
Yeah.
one day we will meet.
Well, I hope so. Um, what was the first artist that you really idolized?
The first artist that I idolized, because I grew up in a very artistically inclined, with a theatrical background household. My first hero was my uncle, who just kind of stepped in to help my mom out with the boys, and he would take us to his studio sessions when he was recording his first album, and he would teach us kind of the tools of songwriting inadvertently. We would play song games in the house, like melody games, to kind of pass the time, and he was just an amazing artist in general. So I would say my Uncle Steve Harrison.
Is he still with us?
He is. Yeah, he lives in Alamogordo. Well, actually, just moved to Dallas, Texas. And yeah, maybe we'll hear more from him as well, as we tend to have a bit of candor as far as music goes. He taught me how to write songs. So yeah,
Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve. It
Right?
was nice because I got to buy. He was recently in need of a vehicle. Something had happened with his vehicle, and it's just been so nice to kind of reach back and help my family out in any way that I can. And I got to buy from another artist connected through with my management. I bought him pretty much a brand new Challenger. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that had to feel so good to deliver that to him and be able to give back. Wow.
You know, you when you have exchanges like that with family members, it's almost there's almost so much there that it's hard to express it at first. But I could see that he had tears in his eyes, and I immediately I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna break down right now. But it was really I actually recorded it. If anyone wants to see it, you can probably visit my Instagram page. I put it on the page, Eric Burton Music. So you can see the car pull up with the big bow on it. And
Oh,
he
man.
was so surprised because he thought he was getting my, I had an old kind of 2007 Mazda that wasn't in the best of shape. And I told him he was going to get that, and showed up with the new Challenger. So he was surprised.
Oh, man. That's so great. What record are you listening to right now that you really love?
I really love Moses. It's Bystander. It's a really nice song, and very, very well written. You can tell that the guy is an intellectual being, and it's just so nice to you know have like such a nice vivid aspect to what you're listening to. Is just kind of how I operate anyway. Very visually oriented artist. So Moses is a new artist that I'm checking out right now, that surprisingly I never really gave myself an opportunity to listen, but I ran across some lyrics that he had written out on his social media, and I just thought he had such great insight, and it's a very sensitive writer, So I'm listening to his album, Gray, Grae, by Moses. It's lovely so far.
All right.
I've only gotten a few songs in. I'm like stuck on one right now. I'll keep listening. I'm like, oh my goodness, when you hear something in a song that you just absolutely love, I tend to, just like a child watches movies over and over and over and over again. I feel that way when I listen to my favorite songs.
What's the most recent song that you've learned to play?
Yeah, so again, or yes, the most recent song that I learned to play would be probably um Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. When we recorded that's also on the deluxe album. That was an interesting feat because before I was singing acoustic, kind of like, when you hear Bobby Blue Bland and you're going to do a Blue Bland cover, you got to really come with it as far as knowing some of the riffs that he's singing with the passion that he's delivering them with. So that would probably be my newest one.
What would be a heartache song that you would go to now?
Well, again, we'll go back to Moses. As I've just discovered him, that Bystander song is just one of the most dreamy, melancholic, just lovely things I've ever heard. It's so nice. Yeah.
What song would you go to now that really lifts you up, that would give you hope?
So, I share a lot of music with some of my friends in town, and it's kind of my favorite way to stay connected. And one of my friends, Josh Blue, he sent me a song called Miracles by Johnny Frierson. And that song, it's such a jubilant song that it'll make you cry, that it can make you cry if you need to. Yeah, so it's a universal kind of a song that I like to kind of go to.
All right. Well, that pretty much concludes it. That tells us a lot about you and the stuff that you're listening to and what you've been influenced by. And I really appreciate your stories too about Uncle Steve and everything else, Eric.
Yeah.
Keep making great music like you guys are doing. And thank you for being on First Cut.
Okay. Thank you, First Cut, and shout out Louisville. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Take care.
You too.